Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm coming to you all with this video this morning just to talk about suicide. And the reason being, the day yesterday, let me see, was it yesterday or the night before? I saw a post come across from a high school friend of mine. And of course, there's a lot more on this page as well, but just saying that one of the guys we all went to high school with committed suicide that day, and killed himself. So, and I've known, of course, others who have, of course, committed suicide as well. Since I was a kid, actually, growing up, that kind of thing. I know a few, actually. And then, of course, I mean, I was suicidal at one point, of course, I guess, as well. As I've said in one video, I mean, I didn't, of course, follow through or anything like that, but just the thoughts and that kind of thing. So I just kind of wanted to, and of course, I saw some of the comments that they were talking about on the post that he posted, of course, and of course, there was some people saying that they didn't know that he was going through things, or they didn't know what was going on, or they wish they could have helped him in some kind of way. I just want to let you all know that you can, of course, help a person with suicide. Of course, I've been a social worker for, I guess, 20 years now, something like that. I don't know, since 1999. I don't know. It's just, I guess, 20 years. Oh, it is 20 years, actually. But yeah, and I've dealt with a lot of the clients I used to work with, of course, and still, of course, work with. I worked at first with infants and, from children's infants to 21 who were in foster care. Then I went to work at a transitional housing program for single moms who were mostly teens up to like 21, 22, that kind of thing. And now I'm working with those a lot older who are seniors and the disabled and stuff like that. And of course, you hear it in that community as well. It does not stop just at those who are young or that kind of thing at all. Like I said, I have a help guide that I'm going to kind of read through to you all this morning as well, just so I won't forget anything as far as like any signs or anything that you can notice, or anything that may be able to help you if you know somebody that's, of course, suffering, I guess, at this time from hopelessness, or feel like they're suicidal or possibly suicidal, or that the family may think that they're just all of a sudden acting strange and things are going on, that kind of thing. So like I said, I want to make sure that I go over this entire packet with you all this morning. Some of the things that you all can, of course, like the warning signs that you can look out for. Some of the things that you may be able to say to a person who is suicidal or who's thinking about suicide and that kind of thing. And I'll just go ahead and get started. But it's mainly just saying that understanding about suicide, that of course there's approximately, it says about 1 million people that of course die each year from suicide. And I know that may sound like a lot, but it is a lot, I guess I put it that way. But just keep in mind that some of those people, of course, I know every single one of them, it may not have been able to be helped. But of course, in some of those cases, some may have been able to be helped if, of course, the right services were in place, or there were caring people beside them, that kind of thing as well. Because I know, and let me just talk about that, I guess, well, I'm sure it'll get to that because I have read this whole article and that kind of thing as well. But I just want to say, because I know whoever is watching this live, and let me say good morning to you all. Deetra, Amber, Jennifer, Ajon, Angela, Avedon, thank you all for watching this morning. And thank you, Avedon, as well, for sharing my video this morning. But I just want to say that I know sometimes we feel that we cannot do anything for somebody that's suicidal, or they feel that they're going to kill themselves. Let them go ahead. You can't do anything. Which there's a lot of stuff, like I said before, that we can do. And a lot of the stuff I haven't decided yet whether I'm actually going to leave the number for the National Suicide Hotline on here or not. Because in my mind, it seems like, okay, that's fine. But usually a person who is going through feeling hopelessness and helplessness and feeling that nobody cares and feeling like they're an outcast, that kind of thing, that's because of the folks usually sometimes around them. I know it is their mindset as well, but sometimes we push people into that kind of corner as well. I guess speaking for me, I can say that I guess I'll speak from my own experience. Like I said it before, I was suicidal in the past. I did not actually commit suicide, that kind of thing. Of course, I'm here today, but of course, having those thoughts and those feelings and that kind of thing, and just feeling alone, I guess I'd say that. Feeling that nobody was checking on me, feel like nobody was there for me for anything, to be honest. I mean, I still get that nowadays. I'm not suicidal anymore at all. I mean, my mindset has kind of changed around that, but like I said years ago, yes, that was some of my thoughts and some of the feelings I was having. So why be here and nobody cares anyway, that kind of thing. And a lot of people, because I've talked to them, of course, too, who are suicidal or going through a suicidal episode, because I've had to deal with that as well. Young lady was cutting her wrist, and that I get that kind of thing, trying to, of course, commit suicide that day when I came into work. But like I said, sometimes you have to just sit there and just talk to a person, just check on a person, no matter how strong they may present to be. Everybody at some point gets lonely. Everybody at some point feels hopeless. It just depends on what's going on. Every day I get online, I mean, of course, I'm seeing someone just lost their husband, or someone just lost their mom, or someone just lost their father, or somebody was killed, that kind of thing. We have a lot of things that's going on, of course. As I ranted yesterday in my video about the murders that's going on here in St. Louis, we have a lot of stuff that's going on, and a lot of people, of course, are dying as well from other kind of deaths besides suicide. And sometimes all that loss and all the stuff that's going on can bring somebody to the point of suicide as well. So just keep that in mind. And like I said, with that, I'm going to go ahead and get to reading some of this to you all. And a lot of this stuff, I'm probably just going to have to read kind of each like little topic and then just go into like a little explanation for you all. But let me see. And the first, it has like some myths on here. And the first one says people who talk about suicide won't really do it. And it was saying that the fact almost everybody that, of course, talks about suicide is looking to attempt suicide, I guess I put it that way. And it says, of course, do not ignore those references to death or suicide. Make sure that you pay attention to that, because sometimes people can say different things like, you'll be sorry when I'm gone. I can't see my way out. No matter how casually or jokingly they may say it, take those thoughts and those words that they say serious. The next myth is that anyone who tries to kill himself or herself must be crazy. No, most people are not, I guess, who are suicidal are not psychotic or insane. Yes, some may have, of course, depression or bad anxiety, and usually it's the depression, I put it that way, or anxiety, that kind of thing, but they're not psychotic, or they're not insane, or murderers, or that kind of thing at all. A lot of them are just upset, and the same thing I said before, they're upset, they're grief-stricken at times, they're depressed, and like I said, they're hopelessness, and most of the time it's just emotional pain that they're going through that they don't know how to, of course, deal with, and they feel that they have nobody to talk to, and they can't get those feelings out, I guess I put it that way. And then the next myth, it says, if a person is determined to kill him or herself, nothing is going to stop them. It does not matter what the person, how severe the case is with suicide or suicidal tendencies. If that person is, of course, looking to kill themselves, if it's tonight, if it's tomorrow, that kind of thing, that person can, of course, still be helped. It does not matter at what point they're at. It says the same thing I just said. They're usually wavering until the very last moment, wanting to live and wanting to die. So, of course, you can, of course, step in at any point to, of course, assist this person. I guess I put it that way. Even if somebody is taking a lot of pills, that kind of thing, of course, you'd have to call 911. Of course, hoping that they get there in time, which they should, so they can pump their stomach and all those kind of things. Like I said, you have to do that, as well. No matter what this person has said, no matter what this person has done, that kind of thing. Like I said, if you step in trying to intervene and showing that you care and showing that you support, yes, you may stop that person from killing themselves. Just always keep that in mind. And the next myth says people who die by suicide are people who are unwilling to seek help. And I read this little sentence actually. It said, fact, studies of suicide victims have shown that more than half have sought medical help in the 6 months prior to death. So, of course, a lot of them do seek help. And like I said before, a lot of people who have been suicidal or are suicidal, they will, of course, say certain things. Like I said before, you'll be sorry when I'm gone, or I can't see any way out, or my life is pointless, that kind of thing. You can always, now you may think that they're joking, or you may say, they'll be fine, they just going through something, that kind of thing. We can't just say that they're just going through something. You can always just ask that person if they're suicidal. And like I said, I'll get to that in a moment once I'm done reading through these myths as well. But just keep in mind that a lot of people who are suicidal are always reaching out for help to whoever's around them. You may not trip off of it at the time, but you have to start tripping off those things and taking the things serious that they're saying. And another myth is talking about suicide may give someone the idea to commit suicide, and that's of course not true. You don't give anybody any thoughts about suicide just by talking about it. If that's the case, everybody on this video will all of a sudden just want to commit suicide, and that's not the truth. By talking about suicide, of course, you're bringing up, even if you're just asking them, are they suicidal or thinking about hurting themselves, that kind of thing, you're just bringing up that you, of course, care, you're concerned, you want to just know what's going on. And like I'm doing this morning, just educating you all about suicide. Like I said, there's no reason that we cannot bring it up. A lot of things that we don't bring up, like suicide and racism and all these other things, they have to be talked about. So we can all know, and you all can know what to look for, how to of course best help that person. Let me say, in the next little section is called the warning signs of suicide. And I'm trying to see, let me see. Some of the warning signs is, like I said before, is talking about suicide. And these are just some of them. There is, of course, a lot more warning signs, but these are just some of the ones that, I guess, within this study, that kind of thing, or whatever people have said, these are the main things that people have said and people have done, and others, I guess, like the survivors of the families who have lived and that kind of thing, what they've told, like different professionals about what kind of warning signs they saw. I guess I put it that way. So, and like I said, the main thing to me is the hopelessness and the helplessness. Of course, if you have somebody that's all of a sudden like me, cheery, happy, all of a sudden going on, and the next week, the next 2 weeks, the next month, you notice this person, you haven't even seen the person, or you haven't heard from them, they haven't called, and they're saying stuff like, I don't want to be here anymore, you all don't care, that kind of thing. That should hopefully give you a red flag. And like I said, the rest of these things I'm going to read through as well, they should give you a red flag as well to, of course, talk to that person, find out more of what's going on. And like I said, the first thing, talking about suicide, any talk about suicide, dying, or self-harm, such as, I wish I hadn't been born, if I see you again, blah, 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 I'll be better off dead. Like I said, all those kind of statements and the statements I said before, those are statements that you have to, of course, listen for. No matter how old the child is, kids as young as 5, 6 years old have committed suicide, on up until those in their 90s. Like I said, I hear it when I'm at work sometimes with some of the clients I've had. So, I mean, they're elderly, disabled, that kind of thing, and that they go through the same thing as well. So you can't just say that since a child is 4, 5, 6, 7, or whatever age they are, that they're not thinking about suicide. Yes, those kids at that age sometimes are bullied and different things are going on. I'm sure a lot of them, I'm sure you all have seen that as well. Some of them have committed suicide. So we have to take all those kind of things serious. And also another warning sign is, of course, seeking out lethal means to, of course, kill themselves. Whether that means they have, they're looking, I guess, like buy all these pills all of a sudden, or Tylenol, or different like medications, or different things that they're hoarding, I guess, as far as that goes. They're looking to buy guns, knives, or they already have those inside the house. You have to make sure you look at that as well. Some people, of course, trying to see any kind of object, I guess, that anybody can kill themselves with. Like I said, a gun, knives, pills, that kind of thing. You have to be weary about, I guess, somebody, I'm not worried, but I guess a red flag should go off when someone's asking whether you know how they can access this all of a sudden, and they don't, like I said, you haven't heard them talk about that in the past, or they're saying they want a gun for this, they want a gun for that, or they want some knives for this, or unless they're just all of a sudden into like sword buying or knife buying or that kind of thing. But if you notice all these other signs that the person is saying that I don't want to be here anymore, or I'll be better off dead, nobody cares, that kind of thing, and then they start talking about getting all these items, please look at that. That is a red flag. And the preoccupation with death, of course, is another warning sign. Person who is focused on death a lot, violence a lot, writing poems about death or stories about death, or if you have any kids or anybody that's artistic, that's drawing about like different death scenes, different things like that, yes, definitely look at that person. Find out what's going on. Look at those drawings, of course, and find out what's going on and question the person about it. Of course, there's nothing, I mean, you can question anybody about anything. That's showing, like I said, that you care. Now, they may not be all that happy that you're questioning them about it, but like I said, we do have to start asking people these kind of questions, especially if we're noticing these warning signs and noticing things are going on, and there's been some drastic behavioral changes, I guess I put it that way. Another warning sign is no hope for the future. Like I said, feeling of helplessness, hopelessness, and being trapped. There's no way out. Belief that things will never get better or change. Yes, because like I said, I felt that way when I was suicidal as well. That nothing was going to change, that nobody cared, all those kind of things. Like I said, a lot of people that have been suicidal or have actually completed the process have felt that way as well. And just seems like that, like I said, sometimes that I'm presenting as a strong person and everybody, she'll be okay. It's just something that she's going through, that kind of thing. But like I said, no matter how strong a person presents or how different a person may have changed, you have to still check on that person. And I know I keep saying that because I know, like I said, in my family or friends or whoever, I know, I mean, it's not just me. I know there's others as well that, of course, may have big families and that kind of thing. And you're not getting checked on or nobody's calling to see how you're doing. I mean, I'm like that. I guess I put it that way. I mean, I do call people, that kind of thing as well, but of course, I'm not the one that's getting the calls or how you doing, what's going on, that kind of thing. for some reason, I guess I could say. But like I said, I do call people every once in a while to check on them, just to see how things are going. But we have to keep in mind, everybody may not have my mindset, but some people do take that to heart and do really, I guess, value, I guess, how others feel about them, what others say, and that kind of thing. And I'm going to say this again, like I said in the beginning, sometimes we can say a lot of things to different people, whether they're in our family, friends, work group, whoever, putting them down all the time, talking about them all the time, gossiping about them all the time. Those kind of things hurt people. Of course, bullying them, all those kind of things as well, even our kids. Like I said, we have to, I know I can't tell everybody what to do, I'm sure it's still going to happen. But like I said, there are some people out there who do, of course, as you all have seen with those kids who have committed suicide because of bullying and that kind of thing. And people can, of course, sometimes push you into that corner, especially if you're not strong-minded, that kind of thing. You don't know what else to do. I guess I'd say that. And you really feel that those people are whatever they're saying is the truth. I guess I'll tell you that. I know all that self-love, all that self-worth. I know all that kind of stuff starts at home and is not taught to us. And, of course, for those parents out there who are listening, please start teaching that to your kids. Because I know bullying is never going to stop. I'm sure people gossiping is never going to stop. I'm sure folks putting you down is never going to stop. But we have to, of course, try to instill in our children or in our youth the best way that we can to, of course, learn how to, I guess, for them to learn how to, like I said, love themselves more, find more worth in themselves, that kind of thing. And I believe what everybody else is saying. I know that is an issue as well, but I'm just saying that to you all this morning. For those who are parents or just work with youth or work with people in general, and even yourselves, like I said, we have to instill that in ourselves. I know it takes a while, it takes a time. But I mean, we can, of course, start the process while these kids are young, even infants. I guess I put it that way. And another warning sign is self-loathing or self-hatred, feeling of worthlessness, guilt, shame, and self-hatred, feeling like a burden. Everybody will be better without me. Like I said, some people do feel that way. I felt that way. I guess at a certain point, I guess I can say that as well. That's why I was thinking about suicide. Like I said, I'm not exempt from that either. And like I said, there's a lot of things that people around us may do. They may not intentionally do it, but there's a lot of things that people may do, not blaming those people, but sometimes other folks cannot withstand all that. I guess I'd say that. Just like I said with the self-love, self-worth, and that kind of thing, some people do take all that stuff to heart and feel that nobody cares, and they get into a slump like I did for days, and sometimes it goes on for weeks and months. Like I said, sometimes we have to pull ourselves out of that, but usually with suicide, things like that, people do need help. And there's nothing that you cannot say to them, I guess, that can get them to, of course, kind of change their mind, or just like I said, mainly just like showing them love, showing them support, and listen to their story and what's going on. It's the main thing that you can do. And like I said, I'll definitely get to that in a few moments as well. Another warning sign is getting their affairs in order, making out a will, giving away prized possessions, or making arrangements for family members. Yes, there are people you will, in every suicidal, for every person that is suicidal, I guess if they're seriously looking at committing this act, they will be, of course, making sure that they're getting rid of all the things that they, of course, loved and they cherish, and they'll be finding, I guess, other folks to give it to. Usually they'll, of course, start with family, start with friends, that kind of thing. And some do, of course, make a will, trying to figure out, trying to get their beneficiaries changed, and just making all those plans for when they are going, so things will be in place, I guess, as they feel, for their family and for their friends and that kind of thing as well. So you, of course, have to pay attention to those things as well. Another warning sign is saying goodbye. It says unusual, unexpected visits or calls to family and friends, saying goodbye to people as if they won't see them again. Yes, anybody that's suicidal will be doing that as well. Like I said, calling around, saying goodbye. I'll see you another time, see you another life, that kind of thing. Like I said, you have to listen to those things and be weary, I guess. And like I said, red flags should go off if you're getting somebody that's telling you that and saying those things to you that you hadn't heard from in months, and all of a sudden they're calling, what's going on, and I'll see you another lifetime, or I'll talk. I mean, like I said, just all those kind of things. Just saying a goodbye is just very unusual, and that person has never done that before. And of course, like I said, another warning sign is withdrawing from others. The self-isolation. Like I said, somebody that you are used to seeing every day, and all of a sudden, in the next few days, the next week, next month, you haven't seen them at all. You're like, what's going on? And you're inviting them to like different parties and events, and they're saying they don't want to go, that kind of thing. That's a red flag as well. Self-destructive behavior is another one. Of course, when we think about suicide, we just think about as far as like a person killing themselves some kind of way, but some do use excessive amounts of drugs, alcohol, reckless driving, or unprotected sex, that kind of thing. Just taking those risks to make themselves put into a situation that's a death risk. I guess I put it that way. Like I said, we do have to look at that as well. I know some people, well, I'll talk about that some other time because that's something different. But as far as the self-destructive behavior, all those things, if you're noticing somebody who is going through some of these signs as well, and like I said, the self-isolation, the hopelessness, and the mindset that I'm not going to be here anymore, you all don't love me, you'd be better off with me dead, that kind of thing, and you start noticing that person is drinking all of a sudden excessively, or using drugs excessively, and having sex just with anybody don't care, that kind of thing, that should throw a red flag at you as well. And then, of course, there's the last warning sign that's on the sheet is talking about a sudden sense of calm. After going through all that, like I said, a sudden sense of calm just meaning that after being extremely depressed, the person is all of a sudden happy, I guess I put it that way, that everything that they've wanted to do, tried to do, the signs that they've tried to tell you all, everything is in place. I guess I'd say that is usually how that person may feel. And that is like I said, that is the decision, the person saying that everything is in place now. I've said my goodbyes. I've given away the stuff that I felt I needed to give away, and rid my house or whatever the case may be, so I can go ahead and take my life. Like I said, you have to look at that as well. All of a sudden, I'm not talking to you all, and for months, or at least a month, and all of a sudden I'm giving stuff away, and I'm like, okay, I'll talk to y'all later and see you in the next life, and all of a sudden I'm all happy all of a sudden. That means that, please look at that. That is definitely a red flag. That means that person does have the plan already and know what they're going to do and when they're going to do it. I guess I put it that way. So please make sure that you are listening and looking at those kind of things. And like I said, with the comments I saw on one of my Facebook friends about the person who I went to high school with, who committed suicide the other day. Like I said, I don't know if their family or friends saw any of these signs, or heard him say anything. But like I said, we have to make sure that we're paying attention to people. I know we can't pay attention to every single thing a person does, but some of the things that are out of character for a person. We all know if we're around somebody 24 hours a day, or whenever we get home from work, or whenever it is, just living with the person or seeing the person when they come over, I guess they're your family, that kind of thing. You know how, you can usually tell when a person is really acting out of character and it's just not like them. Please question that. Don't just let it go and say, oh, he's just going through this, or she's just going through a bad time. Folks can lose their jobs and want to commit suicide, or lose their business and want to commit suicide. All kind of things can happen. So like I said, please pay attention to those things. And they say in the suicidal prevention tip, speak up. Well, I guess tip number 1, it says just to speak up if you're worried. Like I said, there's no reason why you cannot. If you see any of these warning signs, or the person, like I said, is all of a sudden there's something different about them, make sure that you speak up and say something. Don't just let it go on and on and on and on, and the person just like, okay, nobody even cares, nobody even asks them what's going on. That's one of the main reasons, like I said, that they are committing or are wanting to commit the suicide, because they feel that nobody cares and nobody's checking up on them, nobody's even caring how they're feeling, anything. So like I said, definitely speak up. Whether you have to elicit the help from another friend, if you can't physically or verbally say all the words and you're kind of scared to, ask somebody else to assist you in the process. Whether it's that person's mom, parent, sister, brother, friend, best friend, spouse, whoever it is, just ask somebody else to assist you, or even their adult children. And it says some of the ways that you can start a conversation about suicide, and I'll just read exactly what they have. One of the things it says, I have been feeling concerned about you lately. There's nothing wrong with you speaking up and telling that person that. Of course, pull them aside, that kind of thing, and not all out in the open in front of everybody, but when you're alone, of course, just let them know that you have been feeling concerned about them lately. The other, I guess, conversation starter says, recently I have noticed some differences in you and wonder how you're doing. That, of course, would spark somebody to, of course, start talking and that kind of thing as well. Another one, it says, I wanted to check in on you because you haven't seen yourself lately. Like I said, that can get the conversation started also if you don't know what to say. Like I said, they have it written, and I'll have to try to post this article with this video so you all can reference back, that kind of thing as well. Unless I can find something that has like the tips written out just like in like one-page form, and I will look for that. And it says other questions that you can ask. Well, I guess while you're talking, after the person starts opening up, just ask them, of course, when did they begin feeling this way? I guess, feeling suicidal, and of course they'll go ahead and answer you and give you the information that you're needing. I guess, and of course you're needing to best help them. And it says another question: did something happen to make you start feeling this way? You can ask them that as well. You can always ask them, how can I best support you right now? That's usually all that they want, somebody just to support them, talk, I guess somebody that they can vent to. You can always ask, have you thought about getting help? You can always ask the person that. Of course, if they don't want to seek any kind of professional help, that's fine. But like I said, you're there. You can elicit the other family members and that kind of thing. Just remember that you're part of the help as well, and part of that solution. And what you can say that helps. You can let them know that, of course, you are not alone in this, and I'm here for you. You can always let that person know that. That's usually the key in what they want to hear and what they want to feel. I guess I put it that way, that somebody cares and somebody loves them and somebody supports them. Another thing that you can say that will help, you may not believe it now, but the way you're feeling will change. Like I said, in the mindset of somebody that's suicidal, because I have been there, and somebody had to say that to me and pray for me as well. But like I said, as far as telling me that what I'm going through right now is just temporarily, and that, of course, tomorrow the whole situation can change just with the rally and the support of those around me. Like I said, nothing's permanent. It's just in our mind, it may feel that it's permanent because we've been going through this and our mindset is stuck on the suicide, don't want to be here anymore, that kind of thing. But people can assist you in that process by saying these kind of things. Another thing, it says, I may not be able to understand exactly how you feel, but I care about you and I want to help. That always, like I said, makes somebody feel more comfortable in talking to you and wanting to seek that help. I guess I put it that way from you. Or if it's, like I said, another professional, whoever you want to get them help with, or whoever they're asking for you to get them help with. Like I said, just letting them know that you understand how they feel, but that you're there for support with whatever that they need at that present time. And another thing you can always let them know, when you want to give up, tell yourself you will hold off for just one more day, 1 hour, 1 minute, whatever you can to manage. Like I said, what they're usually thinking about, what they're usually going through, like I said, I went through the same thing, is not permanent. It's just temporary. And like I said, if you can just talk to that person about holding off and just waiting another day, waiting another hour, that kind of thing, and just, of course, keep talking to them, that kind of thing as well. Usually, like I said, you can change that mindset. And it says there are some other things that they said when talking to a suicidal person. It says, do these things. Be yourself. Let the person know that you care, that he or she is not alone. The right words are often unimportant. If you are concerned, voice it in the manner that it will show. Of course, anybody can pick up on how you feel and how you're talking, that kind of thing. So just voice whatever like I said, just voice what you can and just be yourself. If you're nervous, of course, just let them know. I mean, you can both talk about that as you all are going along, that kind of thing, because I'm sure they'll be nervous to talk to you as well about what's going on. They're usually afraid to talk sometimes, that kind of thing as well. So you have to kind of keep, like I said, just being there and asking open-ended questions and that kind of thing. Not closed-ended questions like a yes, no. Open-ended questions are questions like I said before, can you tell me what happened? Can you tell me when you started feeling this way? Like I said, so they can give you more answers, more information, and that kind of thing. And hopefully that'll just lead you on like a natural conversation to, of course, assist the person that's possibly suicidal at that time. And another thing to do is just to listen. Like I said, the suicidal person, they usually just want to vent and unload their despair. I know it's going to be maybe a lot of negative things, or I guess then you're used to. But like I said, just listen. There's sometimes we have to listen to that kind of stuff sometimes. It's not going to kill you, I guess, just to listen. Just listen to it. Like I said, that person, it needs somebody to sit there and listen, to be a support, that kind of thing. Like I said, it's the mindset that they're in. And there's nothing you can do about that at the time, but just listen. And of course, be sympathetic. Don't judge what they say or, oh, that's stupid, you shouldn't do this, that kind of thing. Just listen and take it, I guess, sentence by sentence, what they're saying. I guess I'd say that. You don't have to, like I said, be impatient, that kind of thing. Sometimes, of course, it will come off. They're trying to think about what they want to say, how they want to say it. So just be patient and let them vent in their own time. I guess I'd say that. If it takes them 5 minutes, I guess, to get the sentence out or start talking, give them that 5 minutes and just be there to hug them or hold their hand, that kind of thing, or give them a kiss on the cheek, whatever it may be. Just be there for support. And it says, do offer hope. Reassure the person that help is available, that of course the family, your friends, your kids are going to be there to love and support you. And of course that you'll get those people, I guess, if they need for you to call their mother or call their daughter or whoever, I guess, for them to be there during this time as well. Please do so. Of course, if you don't know the number, just ask them for the number. It's not going to hurt. It will definitely help. Also, do take the person seriously. The person is saying things like, I'm so depressed, I can't go on. Ask the person, like I said, the question, are you having thoughts of suicide? There is no reason why you cannot ask that. Just please, like I said, just ask. You're not putting ideas and thoughts into their head, but you are showing them that you're concerned and that you're taking whatever they're saying seriously. Some of the don'ts, I guess, that you do not want to do when somebody is telling you that they're suicidal or talking about suicide, that kind of thing, and they don't want to be here anymore. You do not want to argue with the suicidal person. Avoid saying things like you have so much to live for, your suicide will hurt your family. Look on the bright side of things. You don't want to say those kind of things. Like I said, that's just mainly just telling them that whatever they're it's just discounting how they're feeling and discounting what they're saying. Like I said, you have to be there for support, non-biased, non-judgmental, and just listen to what they're saying, showing that you care that you care and are concerned. Not that you have so much to live for. They already know that already. They already know that the suicide will hurt their family. I'm sure they have thought about that, especially if they've taken their time to, of course, get all these beneficiaries and make a will and make sure that kids are on their bank accounts, all these kind of things. They already know all those kind of things already. That's why they were making this plan to begin with. Like I said, don't say those kind of things and don't argue with them. And don't act shocked. Like I said, I know a lot of folks may say things, I guess I put it that way. And sometimes we, of course, are shocked or that kind of thing. Oh, my gosh, or why would you say that? Well, nothing shocks me anymore, I guess. Maybe I'm just that person. But I can tell you, just don't act shocked and surprised and that kind of thing. Just, of course, just go with the flow. Go with however they're acting. Mirror it back to them. Kind of, I guess, like their temperament, that kind of thing as well. Like I said, just don't act shocked. And don't promise confidentiality. I would say for anybody, you cannot promise anybody that's suicidal that you're not going to, I guess, that you're going to keep everything secret. You're not going to tell anybody. You cannot, I guess if you want to promise them, I definitely would not say this is saying do not do so. And I firmly believe as a social worker and as a person who's dealt with this, do not promise that person that you're not going to tell anybody else that they're suicidal. If that person is asking you that, just let them know that you cannot be sworn to secrecy like that. And that, I guess, because their life is at stake. Like I said, you have to let them know that if they are telling you this and they're actually going to get the gun out the next room and go ahead and kill, you cannot, you're going to just sit there and just, I'm not going to just tell anybody. You have to let other folks know. Like I said, you can stop that person from committing that act or taking those pills, that kind of thing. But you cannot, say that you cannot tell anybody else what's going on or that they're suicidal. Because like I said, that's the whole point of them talking to you, I guess I put it that way, and that's the whole point of you talking to them, to make everybody aware of what's going on so they can start checking on the person and that kind of thing. Like I said, just do not promise that person that you're not going to tell anybody else. Please don't do that. And of course, you cannot offer ways to fix their problem unless they're asking you for advice or that kind of thing. Just let them know that you, of course, understand how they feel and just get them to just continue on talking. Just don't let them know that you're going to, because I know I'm a problem fixer, I guess, or problem solver. I'm always trying to solve something. But during the time that somebody's suicidal or having thoughts about suicide, of course, you're not there to be a problem solver. You're there just to listen and just go along with the conversation. I guess I put it that way. And of course, like I said, just kind of guide them on to, as far as like I said, just a better mindset. It may not be like that day. But like I said, you can't just tell them you need to do this, you need to do that. Like I said, they have to find it within themselves to want to do that. You can, of course, if they're asking for suggestions or advice, that kind of thing, please do give it to them. But like I said, just don't offer all the ways to fix their problems, because you, of course, cannot fix all their problems. They're their own person. They know exactly what they're going through, and they know how to fix the problems that they're going through. I guess I put it that way. They just need somebody to, of course, listen to, vent to, and somebody there for support. And, of course, don't blame yourself. Because you cannot fix somebody's, like I just said, somebody's hopelessness or despair. Like I said, that's their responsibility. You can be there for support, and like I said, offer the advice if they need, if they're asking for it. But you cannot blame yourself for the reason why they're suicidal, that kind of thing at all. And I'm trying to see if I can, let me see what time it is actually. Okay, because I actually got to get going. I may have to do this as a part 2 tonight. So I'll do this as part 2 tonight because I actually got to get going, y'all, because I got to get to work this morning. But I thank you all for those who have watched this video this morning. Deetra, Amber, Avedon, Jennifer, Ajon, Angela, Quinita, James, Lakeisha, Pramad, Rhonda, Marcus, Antonine. Thank you all for watching this morning, and I will, of course, reply to your comments throughout the day today. But like I said, I just did go over as far as, of course, suicide. We all know kind of what suicide is, but some of the mindset behind suicide and some of the things, some of the ways that we can, of course, intervene when a person is suicidal. So like I said, I will definitely finish the rest of this because it is like another part as far as how to respond and that kind of thing. So I'll finish that part this evening. And like I said, for those who are watching, please do share this video if you can, especially with your tribes, just in case there's somebody out there that is seeing someone with these signs and that is suicidal and that can try to intervene in their loved one's life. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. And like I said, I will have a second video this evening. And I wish you all have a great, today's Thursday, a great Thursday. And I love you all and take care.